The sky over Earth burned red. Flames reached toward the stars as alien ships rained destruction on every major city. Buildings collapsed. Smoke choked the air. The Drexari had come without warning, their weapons powerful and merciless. Commander Jax's Forn stood on the bridge of his old warship, the Valor. His eyes were fixed on the live feed, cities in ruin, people running, screams on every channel. He clenched his fists, not out of fear, out of duty. He had trained for this moment his entire life. But no training could prepare him for watching his planet die. "Target locked," said his weapons officer. "Fire," Vorn ordered without hesitation. A bright flash cut through the blackness of space as Earth's last orbital cannon hit a Drexari command ship. The explosion rocked the alien fleet. Vorn didn't celebrate. This wasn't a victory. It was survival, barely. That battle lasted 3 days. Millions died. Earth lost most of its defenses, but the Drexari, caught off guard by human resistance, pulled back. They weren't defeated, just wounded. And they would return. Now 5 years later, Earth still hadn't recovered. Whole continents were rebuilding. Nature had taken back some of the ruins. The sky was clearer, but people lived with fear every day. Commander Vorn now led Sentinel Prime, the massive space station orbiting Earth like a shield. It was Earth's strongest defense, and its last line of hope. Built after the war, it held powerful weapons, advanced tracking systems, and a crew of hand-picked officers. Vorn stood before the main window of Sentinel Prime, watching the blue planet below. It looked peaceful from up here. But he knew better. Peace was a surface illusion. Beneath it, danger always stirred. A young officer approached. "Commander, message from Earth Command." "Play it," Vorn said. A small screen lit up beside him. The United Earth Alliance director appeared. Her face tired. "Commander Vorn, intelligence reports suggest Drexari communications have increased near Sector 17. We don't know if it's random or organized. Be alert." The screen went dark. Vorn stayed silent for a moment. Then he spoke quietly, as if to himself. "They're coming back." He turned to his second-in-command, Lieutenant Raina Holt. "Double patrols around outer sectors. Full scans every hour. No one rests until we know what's out there." "Yes, sir." As she left, Vorn sat down in his command chair. He touched the side of the armrest. There, carved faintly, were the names of his fallen squadmates from the last war. Every time he sat there, he remembered. 5 years ago, he had promised something to the people of Earth. Never again. He stared out the window, into the stars. He didn't know when the Drexari would strike again. But he knew one thing for certain. This time they would not find Earth unprepared. The hum of Sentinel Prime was steady, calm, like a heartbeat in space. Commander Jax's Forn stood in the command center, reviewing patrol reports. Everything looked normal. Too normal. "Commander," said Lieutenant Raina Holt, rushing in, "you need to see this." Forn turned as she handed him a tablet. On the screen was a wave pattern, strange, sharp, and repeated. "What is it?" he asked. "An encrypted signal. It was picked up by Patrol Drone 7, near the edge of Sector 17. It matches Drexari communication patterns." Forn stared at the signal. His voice was low but firm. "Have we confirmed it?" "We triple-checked. It's real." A chill passed through him. It wasn't just noise, it was movement. The Drexari were active again. "Bring it up on the main screen," Forn ordered. The crew turned toward the large display. The signal played again, short bursts, then silence. Over and over. Forn stepped closer, watching the pattern. It wasn't just communication. It was coordination. "They're planning something," he said. "They're not just out there, they're organizing." "Should we inform Earth Command?" Holt asked. Forn nodded. Immediately. An emergency channel opened. Soon the face of Director Solon, head of the United Earth Alliance, appeared on the screen. Her expression was calm, but distant. "Commander Vorn, we received your report," she said. "We have confirmed Drexari signals in deep space." "This isn't a drill," Forn said. We need to prepare Earth for a possible attack. Director Solon didn't answer right away. With all due respect, Commander, she finally said, Earth is not in a position for war. We're rebuilding. People are tired. The last war nearly destroyed us. If this turns out to be nothing, we risk global panic. Forn's jaw tightened. And if we wait, and it is something, we lose everything. The director's voice was firm. Continue observation, but do not engage. We'll need more proof before we act. The screen went black. Forn turned to his officers. The silence in the room was heavy. They're not going to act, Holt said softly. No, Forn replied. They're hoping it goes away, but hope isn't a plan. He walked to the communication terminal. If Earth won't send a message, we will. He typed a short message. Clear, powerful, no confusion. To the Drexari command, we are aware of your presence. Attack again and face total annihilation. This is Earth's final warning. Send it, he said. The message launched into the stars. There was no guarantee the Drexari would hear it, but Vorn didn't send it for them alone. He sent it for Earth, for every man, woman and child, who still lived in fear of the dark. Later, Forn stood alone at the observation deck, watching the stars. He remembered the last time he gave a warning. Back then, no one listened until it was too late. This time, he would make sure they heard. He didn't know what would come next, but he had made Earth's position clear. The stars outside Sentinel Prime were quiet, but Commander Jax's Vorn knew better. Silence could be a cover. Stillness could mean danger. 3 days had passed since he sent Earth's warning to the Drexari. There had been no reply. No new signal, but Vorn could feel it. Something was coming. His instincts, shaped by war, never failed him. Commander, Lieutenant Holt called from the control station. Long-range sensors picked up an object entering the solar system. It's small, not a ship. More like a probe. Track it, Vorn said. Don't lose it. Minutes later, the object drifted near Saturn's orbit. Sentinel Prime scanners locked onto it. It's Drexari, Holt confirmed. Definitely one of theirs. Vorn's eyes narrowed. Prepare a capture team. I want it brought in. The Drexari probe was secured in Dock Bay 3. Vorn stood beside it, examining its sharp, black surface. Symbols etched across its metal body, pulsed with a faint red light. Is it armed? He asked. No explosives detected, said the technician. But we found a data core inside. Decrypted. Now, within the hour, the probe's data was opened. A holographic image flickered to life, a message in the cold and precise voice of General Surik. To the humans of Earth. Your warning has been received. Your planet remains weak. We do not fear your threats. We come not to speak, but to finish what we began. The hologram vanished. Vorn's face hardened. So it begins. Later he gathered his senior officers in the briefing room. The atmosphere was tense. This was never just a signal, Vorn said. It was a test. The Drexari sent the probe to measure our strength, not to reply to our warning. Captain Dre, the station's weapons lead, leaned forward. We should strike first, take the fight to them before they reach Earth. Lieutenant Holt shook her head. What if it's a bluff? They could be trying to bait us into a war we're not ready for. Do you believe that? Vorn asked her. No, she admitted. But we don't know the size of their fleet. We'd be risking everything. Silence followed. Everyone looked at Vorn. The decision would be his. I've fought the Drexari, he said. They don't bluff. They observe. They wait. Then they attack with everything they have. He stood and looked at the display showing Earth, calm and blue below them. If we wait, we lose the advantage. But if we attack without proof, we risk war too soon. So what do we do? Captain Dre asked. We prepare, Vorn said. Quietly, we arm the station. We recall the patrol fleet. And we scan every inch of deep space. We'll be ready. But we won't fire first. Not yet. As the meeting ended, Vorn stayed behind, staring at the Drexari probe. He remembered what it felt like to lose friends, to watch cities fall, to hear children cry while the skies burned. He wouldn't let it happen again. The enemy was moving. Earth's leaders still hesitated. But here, aboard Sentinel Prime, preparation had begun. Whatever came next, Forn would face it head-on. A red light flashed across the command center of Sentinel Prime. Commander Jax's Forn stood in front of the main screen, arms crossed, jaw tight. The alarms weren't drills this time. They were real. "Report," he said calmly. Lieutenant Holt's voice was sharp. "We've detected multiple Drexari ships entering the outer edge of the solar system. Stealth tech, hard to track. At least 20 vessels confirmed so far." Forn stepped forward, put it on screen. The stars filled the view, then lit up with tracking markers. Dozens of Drexari ships were approaching, silent, cold, and fast. "This is a fleet," Holt whispered. "They're not scouting, they're invading." Forn turned to the crew. "Alert Earth Command. Begin Code Black Protocol. Evacuate major cities. Prepare all defense systems." All across Sentinel Prime, the crew moved fast. Warning sirens echoed through the corridors. Weapons systems powered up. Fighters launched into orbit. Forn opened a direct channel to Earth. Director Solon appeared on the screen, pale and tense. "They're here," Forn said simply. Solon nodded. "We're initiating evacuations. How long do we have?" "Hours," Forn replied. "Maybe less. Do what you must. Earth is counting on you." The screen went dark. Forn turned to Holt. "Activate the pulse cannon." Her eyes widened. "Sir, it's still untested. If it backfires, it's our strongest weapon," he said. "If they reach Earth, it's over. We can't afford to wait." Deep within Sentinel Prime, the planetary pulse cannon roared to life. It was a massive energy weapon, capable of wiping out entire fleets, but it had never been fired in battle. The air inside the station grew tense. Every crew member knew what was coming. Then a voice came through the communication channel. Not from Earth, not from Sentinel Prime, from the enemy. The image flickered. General Zarak appeared, his alien face hard and cold. "You were warned. You chose arrogance. Now you will witness the end of your world. We are Drexari. We do not forget." The message ended. The fleet kept moving. "Enemy ships in attack formation," Holt said. "They'll reach our outer defense grid in 3 minutes. Target lead ship," Forn ordered. "All batteries ready. Fire on my command." Outside the station, Earth's orbital weapons opened fire. Explosions lit up the stars. Drexari ships returned fire, green beams cutting across space. Fighter pilots launched in waves, engaging the enemy with everything they had. But the Drexari were strong. For every ship destroyed, 2 more pushed forward. "Shields at 70%, Holt reported. "They're focusing fire on our main reactor." Forn nodded. "It's time. Charge the pulse cannon." The station vibrated as energy gathered into the massive weapon. On the screen, the enemy fleet clustered together, pushing through the defense line. "Target locked," said the weapons officer. Forn raised his hand. Fire. A beam of pure white light tore through space, silent and fast. It hit the center of the Drexari fleet. A blinding explosion followed. When the light faded, nearly half the fleet was gone. Just gone. Cheers broke out across the station, but Vorn didn't celebrate. He knew it wasn't over. "Enemy survivors regrouping," Holt warned. "Smaller ships moving fast toward Earth. They'll try to punch through," Forn said. "We're not done yet." He turned to his command team. "Prepare boarding team. I'm going to end this." The officers stared at him. "You're going alone?" Holt asked. "No," Forn said. "I'm taking a squad. We'll board their command ship. We finish this from inside." He paused for a moment, looking at the Earth below. "They brought the war to our doorstep. Let's take it to theirs." Explosions flashed like silent fireworks across the black sky. Earth's orbit had become a battlefield. Commander Jax's Vorn stood inside the troop bay of a sleek dropship, suiting up in black combat armor. Around him, 5 elite soldiers did the same. Their faces were tense but ready. They had trained for this moment. Their target, the Drexari command ship, still holding formation behind the chaos. It was larger than anything Earth had built, dark, spiked, and glowing faintly red. That was where General Zorak was. Forn knew it. "Status?" he asked over the comms. Lieutenant Holt's voice replied through his earpiece. "Your path is open. Our fighters have cleared a hole in the enemy defense. But it won't stay open long." "Understood." Forn stepped toward the ramp. "Let's move." The ramp dropped. The stars stretched ahead. The drop ship roared forward, dodging laser fire and debris. One Earth fighter spiraled past, trailing smoke. A Drexari cruiser exploded above them. "Approaching target," the pilot said. "Prepare for breach." The ship slammed into the Drexari hull with a hard thud. Magnetic clamps locked them in place. Forn and his team blew the hatch open and rushed into the alien ship. The air inside was thick, almost oily. The walls pulsed with strange lights. Drexari soldiers came at them, tall, armored, and fast. The fight began instantly. Blaster fire lit the dark halls. Forn moved like a shadow, precise and deadly. He shot 2 enemies cleanly and signaled his team forward. "Stay close." We pushed straight to the command deck. The Drexari resisted hard. In narrow corridors and sharp turns they attacked in waves. Forn's team took losses. 1 soldier fell, hit in the chest. Another was wounded but kept going. "Keep moving," Forn shouted. Finally they reached the large doors of the command deck. Forn placed a charge. The explosion rocked the hallway. Smoke filled the air. Forn stormed inside, weapon raised. General Zorak stood at the center of the room, tall, cold, unshaken. "So," Zorak said in perfect English, "the human comes to finish the war." "This isn't war," Forn replied. "It's defense." They circled each other, weapons ready. Then they charged. Their guns clashed. Zorak was strong, inhumanly strong. He knocked Vorn back, nearly breaking his armor. But Vorn didn't stop. He dodged, rolled, and fired again. They fought hand to hand, striking, blocking, struggling for control. Zorak growled, "You are weak, always hiding behind hope." Forn locked eyes with him. "No, we fight because we still have hope." With one final push, Forn slammed Zorak into the console. Sparks flew. Zorak reached for a hidden blade. But Vorn was faster. He pointed his weapon at the alien's chest. Zorak froze. Forn's hand tightened on the trigger. Then he stopped. Killing Zorak now would end the threat. But something deeper told Vorn this wasn't the way. If he killed Zorak in cold blood, he would become no better than his enemy. "You don't deserve mercy," Forn said. "But I'm not here to destroy life. I'm here to protect it." He stepped back. "Your fleet is broken. Stand down or I will return, and next time I won't hold back." Behind him his team secured the room and activated the beacon. Outside, Sentinel Prime locked onto the command ship. "Target secure." Holt reported. "Fleet is retreating. Earth is safe, for now." Forn looked at the stars through the alien window. The battle was won, but peace was still fragile. Commander Jax's Vorn stood in the center of the Drexari command deck. The air was still thick with smoke. Sparks flew from broken panels. His weapon stayed pointed at General Zorak, who stood tall, wounded but unyielding. "You had your chance," Vorn said quietly. Zorak's deep voice echoed across the chamber. "And still you hesitate. You're afraid to finish it." "No," Vorn replied. "I'm not afraid. I'm choosing not to become like you." The Drexari soldiers had either fallen or surrendered. Vorn's team secured the command deck, disabling weapons and communication systems. The Drexari fleet outside had begun pulling back. Without orders from Zorak, they were retreating in confusion. Lieutenant Holt's voice came through Vorn's earpiece. "Enemy ships are falling back. We've confirmed full retreat. What's your status?" "Command deck secure," Vorn replied. "General Zorak is in custody." There was silence for a second. Then her voice returned. "Understood. Evac team is on the way." Vorn turned back to Zorak. The alien leader's face was unreadable. But there was something in his eyes, something like curiosity. "You could have killed me," Zorak said. I still could. Vorn answered. Why not? Vorn lowered his weapon slowly. Because I'm not here to destroy for revenge. I'm here to protect my world. And because mercy is something you'll never understand. He turned away. Earth gave you one warning, Vorn said. His voice cold and clear. You attacked again. We survived. Next time we won't just warn you. Outside, Earth's defense network stood strong. Sentinel Prime, scarred but operational, remained in orbit like a silent guardian. Earth was safe for now. The evac ship arrived minutes later. Vorn and his team escorted Jorak aboard, placing him into a sealed chamber. He didn't resist. As the ship left the Drexari vessel behind, Vorn looked out the window. The alien fleet drifted apart in the distance, beaten and scattered. Back on Sentinel Prime, Vorn walked through the command center. The crew greeted him with relief and respect. Some nodded silently. Some smiled. All of them understood what had just happened. He stood before the observation glass, Earth glowing blue below him. Director Solan appeared on the main screen. Commander Vorn, you've done it. Earth is safe. We owe you everything. Vorn didn't smile. His voice was steady. They'll be back. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not for years. But someone else will come. What do we do until then? She asked. We watch, we prepare. And we remember. He cut the transmission and continued to watch Earth. He thought of the lives saved. The cities untouched this time. The people who slept without hearing air raid sirens. And he thought of the line he had spoken in his warning. Attack again and face total annihilation. It wasn't just a threat. It was a promise. The sun rose slowly over Earth. From the quiet orbit above, Sentinel Prime floated like a shield, watching the world it had just saved. Smoke trails from fallen Drexari ships still marked the sky, but the silence that followed was not of fear. It was peace. Inside the command center, Commander Jax's Vorn stood at the window, arms behind his back. His armor was scratched. His body ached. But he stood tall. The Earth below looked calm, alive. He let out a long breath. Lieutenant Reyna Holt walked in quietly. The last Drexari ships have disappeared beyond Neptune, she said. No signs of regrouping. Vorn nodded. Good. They've left General Sorek's flagship behind. Empty. Dead. He never expected to lose, Vorn said. Now he gets to live with it. Holt hesitated. Did we do the right thing, Commander? Letting him live? Vorn looked at her. His voice was quiet but firm. Yes. We didn't fight to destroy life. We fought to protect it. That's what makes us different. She nodded. The answer was enough. Down on Earth, people returned to their homes. Cities reopened. Families reunited. For the first time in years, the threat above had been turned away, not by fear, but by strength, guided with purpose. Vorn walked through the halls of Sentinel Prime. Crew members saluted him. Some thanked him. Some just nodded. He returned each gesture with quiet respect. He passed by the memorial wall, names of every soldier, every civilian who had died during the last war. He paused and placed his hand on the metal. I kept my promise, he whispered. Later that day, he addressed the Earth from the main broadcast deck. This is not the end of fear, he said. There will always be threats. There will always be those who challenge our right to live in peace. But today, we stood strong. We didn't run. We didn't fall. We defended our home with everything we had. He looked directly into the camera. And if they come again, we will do it again. The message echoed across the planet. People listened in homes, schools, shelters. They heard not just a soldier, but a leader, a protector. As the broadcast ended, Vorn returned to the window one last time. The stars stretched endlessly in every direction. Somewhere out there, others watched. Others waited. But Earth had sent a message loud and clear. Attack again and face total annihilation. He took a deep breath and smiled, just a little. Peace wasn't guaranteed. But for now, Earth had it, and that was enough.